You know what's wild? Lou Williams made over $70 million in the NBA, played 17 seasons, and still had to sit down after retirement asking himself,
4 years is the average lifespan of an NBA career. Take us 5 years after that to go broke.
how do I figure this out now? If a guy who lasted that long can barely escape the trap, what chance does the average player have when their career only lasts 4 years?
You know, when people win the lottery, they never had it to where they're the worst stories. They're like, these people are going broke.
Recently, Lou Williams finally pulled the curtain back on why this keeps happening, and what he exposed is way darker than flashy cars and bad investments.
You make $5 million, 2.5 of that gone. You got agent fees, probably another 50 of that gone. You got your dues. A lot of people don't know we got dues for the NBPA.
This is about a system designed to chew up young athletes and spit them out with nothing left.
So everybody put their money in the pot. So you figure you got 450 NBA players. I think the dues is 15 to 20 grand a year. That's how we able to get our health care and all of that type of shit. You got your personal staff. Financial advisor, there's probably 1%. Agent at a high number is gonna get 4%. But you can negotiate from 1 to 4.
The biggest lie they sell you is that signing an NBA contract means you're set for life. Lou broke down the real numbers on the Underground Lounge podcast, and it's uglier than most fans ever realize.
You probably at 1.5 million with nothing. And these Benzes that we keep talking about in these mansions and these girlfriends and these Chanel bags. Before you know it, you not a millionaire no more.
Right.
You a high thousandaire on paper.
Say a 21-year-old signs a $5 million deal. Sounds insane, right? That assumption dies the second reality walks through the door. Taxes hit first, taking close to half before the player even touches a dollar. That $5 million just became $2.5 million. Then the agent steps in, grabbing anywhere from 1% to 4%, usually closer to the high end. Another chunk gone. And here's the part nobody talks about: union dues. Every single one of the 450 NBA players pays $15,000 to $20,000 a year into the pot so everyone gets healthcare and benefits. No opt-out, no exceptions. Then comes personal staff, and this is where the bleed gets serious. Financial advisors take about 1% of everything you make. You need trainers, sometimes a chef, maybe a driver depending on the city. These aren't luxury flexes when you're fighting to stay in the league. They're survival costs. Lou laid it out plain. Before you even blink, that $5 million contract is down to about $1.5 million actually in your pocket. And these are 17, 18-year-old kids experiencing real money for the first time. Lou admitted something that shows exactly how players think when the checks keep rolling in. He bought a Ferrari and a Lamborghini in the same week.
I bought a Ferrari and a Lamborghini in the same week. I rationalized it with my financial advisor, and he was like, I can't legally tell you what to do with your money, but I don't think that's a good decision. And I said, it's cool, I'll make a bunch of this shit.
When his financial advisor sat him down and said he was 24 years old, 6 or 7 seasons deep, and he truly believed the money would never stop. That's not being dumb.
2012, but nah, like you want to enjoy some of this stuff too.
That's what happens when you're living in a world where millions keep hitting your account every month and nobody's sitting you down with real numbers because it's all coming in too fast. This is where people get the NBA lifestyle completely wrong. From the outside, everyone assumes players go broke because they're wasting money on stuff. But Lou made it clear, it's not reckless spending habits, it's crazy overhead. And once those checks stop, everything changes.
That's how athletes go broke. A lot of people think it's like you just got a reckless spending habit. It ain't that we got reckless spending habits, we just got crazy overhead, and once the checks stop, it gets completely different. It's nobody sitting there giving you real numbers because it's coming in so fast.
You've got people on payroll depending on you, properties that need constant upkeep, family members who suddenly need help paying bills they never had before, friends from back home asking for loans that never come back. NBA salary, shoe deals, endorsements, all rolling in at once. The cash comes so fast your brain can't even process it, and you feel like it's going to last forever. The trap snaps shut the moment retirement hits. Lou described his first week retired, and reality crashed in like a truck he never saw coming.
Money coming in so fast, that's just the contract. Like you might have a shoe deal, you might have some endorsements, so you feel like this is gonna be forever. It was a culture shock to me. The first week I didn't get a big check from being retired.
That first week when the big check didn't land in his account, it hit different. Then Lou went even darker and said something most players won't touch publicly. He asked the question every married athlete thinks about but never says out loud. Why do so many players get divorced right after retirement?
A lot of when athletes retire, they get a divorce too, because now they home so much.
If I'm playing for the Clippers, she might move with me, but I'm on the road 3-4 nights a week. I only got to deal with her for 2 nights at a time. You know how we keep her happy? Keep sending her to the mall.
The answer is brutal. A lot of these guys don't actually know the women they married. Lou explained it with specifics that make it undeniable. Say you're from Atlanta but playing for the Clippers. Your wife might move with you to LA, but you're on the road 3 or 4 nights every single week. You're only dealing with her for 2 nights at a time. That's your entire marriage compressed into brief windows. And Lou broke down the strategy that keeps these relationships running during the career years. You keep her happy by sending her to the mall. That's literally the solution. She stays quiet because she can shop in peace, and you're on the road doing whatever you're doing. You come back for 2 days, play family, then you leave again before any real issues surface. Retirement hits and everything changes overnight. Now you're home every single day. No more road trips, no escape, no break from each other. Suddenly you're staring at someone you barely know beyond surface level.
And then you retire and you got to deal with this 24/7. Play house. Tough, that's the reality. So when you get to a place where, like I said, I was single, so I'm coming home with just my crib. Let's say you don't even have kids involved, or you got a long-time girlfriend. Y'all really got to get to know each other for real.
Lou was single when he retired, so he only had to deal with himself. But he watched his teammates go through the marriage breakdown in real time. Here's what makes this truly devastating. According to research, 60% of former NBA players go broke within 5 years of leaving the league. John Stockton, who made over $65 million during his career, warned about the same exact pattern.
Players go broke after the NBA.
Well, it doesn't take much. When the money is that big, you just don't pay your taxes, for one thing. Don't pay your taxes one time and you're making what are these guys making, 50 million, 100 million? If you don't pay your taxes 1 year, penalties and interest and all these things, you can eat that up in a heartbeat. So you get married and get divorced, that cuts it in half.
Poor money management, costly divorces, lavish spending that made sense during playing years but becomes impossible to sustain after. The craziest part? This keeps happening generation after generation without fail. Young players entering the league right now are stepping into the exact same trap.
Take care of their mom, they want to take care of their brother, they want to take care of their buddies, they want to take care of everybody. Didn't maybe think about those taxes and a couple other things, and all of a sudden it jumps on you.
They see older players struggling. They hear the warnings. But when you're 19 and someone hands you a multi-million-dollar contract, your brain can't process that it will ever end. Lou's honesty stands out in a culture that usually hides these problems. Most retired players won't talk about money issues because they're embarrassed.
Go back to living your life, she go back to managing the house. A lot of my good brothers are who they say they are, real God-fearing family men, and some of us like to play. And me included, I say I'm first.
And they definitely won't talk about relationship problems because it hurts their image. Lou laid everything out with no filter. The bad money decisions, the lifestyle inflation that spiraled out of control, the hollow marriages held together by cash and convenience, and the brutal crash after retirement nobody prepared them for. The truth is, the system is broken by design and keeps producing the same outcomes year after year. You take teenagers with almost no life experience. You hand them more money than they can comprehend. You surround them with people who profit when they spend instead of save. You drop them into a lifestyle that requires massive overhead just to survive. Then a few years later, you cut them loose with no real life skills and zero preparation for normal life. Real financial education from day one would change everything.
A lot of players, they've been, obviously groomed to be basketball players, but then after that, it's like, what do you do? How do you invest? What else do I'm looking into? So I think that is a big part of it, to where their identity is kind of gone. They have all this cash and they still have this lifestyle, but they don't have that job anymore,
Mandatory guidance about life after basketball starting in a player's rookie year would matter. But there's no real incentive to fix this because the machine keeps running exactly how it's built to. It feeds on young talent, squeezes out a few years of peak.
Yeah, financial education is something that's heavily needed. So I was even thinking about opening up a sector just for athletes to, hey, you need to start investing in this and that. And even Odell Beckham, he took one of his salaries in Bitcoin, which was brilliant because it tripled by now. So I think those types of moves athletes need to start, thinking about.
The average career lasts about 4.5 years. Most players are broke within 5 years after that. Marriages collapse at rates nobody wants to talk about, yet the cycle keeps rolling with every new draft class. Lou Williams pulled the curtain back with details most players will never share. What he revealed is devastating when you really sit with it. The NBA dream comes with a price most players don't understand until it's far too late.
When you're not making the $50 million a year and pay those penalties. So it could happen easier than you think, but it's good reason to have your head on your shoulders and pay attention.
If this opened your eyes to what really happens behind the scenes, drop a comment with your thoughts. What shocked you most about what Lou exposed? And if you're not subscribed, hit that button now, because we're bringing you more truths the sports world doesn't want out.